Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Google Digital Garage. Today, we'll be doing create videos for YouTube. We're going to go through a few sort of key areas today of how you can sort of develop your brand online. Maybe if you're going to start off from scratch, things that you need to consider, and different points of like sort of planning that you can go through. It's going to be in three nice bite-sizable chunks. The first one we're going to consider is find your niche. The second one is creating engaging content. And then last of all, if you do these two brilliantly, but you're not necessarily getting discovered and tracking your success, then you may not know how to improve it, how to make it better, or possibly how to make it worse if you do not know the differences between the different analytics. Before we kick in, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Joe Kelly Muldoon. I've been working this project now for approximately, I think it's five years. We also have Benedict with us, who's one of the trainers I've also had the pleasure of working with many times, who is modding today. Who is modding today in the chat. So do feel free to introduce yourself. One thing I really enjoy doing in these sessions is trying to customize the session to the people who are watching. So if anybody here would like to introduce themselves, drop the name in the chat, say hi to Benedict, maybe even drop the context of your business or your shop, your online store, your consultancy services. If you can drop this in the chat, Benedict will pass this on to myself. We've got a little moderation doc that we use to communicate with each other. And basically, this would be really good. It'd be really good if basically you could pass this information on. If you've got them on, maybe. I do apologize. There may have been a small technical problem at the beginning in terms of just jumping on. So do hopefully get patience for that, people. We'll try and kick in now. So we'll try and kick into today's content. So I was getting little messages pop up in the little mod doc. So yeah, we'll try and kick in. Before we kick in, one of the things that I do love about this project is the possibility of just beyond the video content that we're giving you today. So today's session is totally live. If you ask questions, I will answer them. Addition to this, if you are a UK-based business or a UK-based charity, you've got an amazing opportunity that Google have opened up for basically one-to-one mentorings with your business. So if you go to g.co/UK mentoring, Benedict will put the link for you in the little chat. You'll get a link to be able to sign up your business or charity. If yourself, maybe you're just learning, maybe you're expanding your knowledge, one thing that you could do here is possibly pass this information on to friends and family. Surely you know someone that has a small business. Surely you know someone that maybe works for a charity. This is an amazing opportunity for people to get one-to-one mentoring direct with the Google Digital Garage trainers on different areas of specialisms from, say, Google Maps, ads, Facebook advertising, and basically get as far as you can before you book onto one of these mentorings. And when you get to that hurdle, when you've got to something that you need a bit more expanded depth knowledge about, that is the point that you should sign up to the one-to-one mentoring. The reason we say this, because what I don't want to do is let you research and find out everything that you can and then turn up to the mentoring and not apply it. If you apply as much knowledge and as much as you can to your business and then you get stuck, or maybe then you need additional thought processes and a bit of an expertise advice, this is the perfect stage to go. So then you're going to get more from your mentoring sessions. So it's great to see today. We've got Ruben from Alabama. Amazing. We've got Swapna running online academy, providing affordable education for all. So I've got affordable education. We've got Shirley about to start a business. Candice from the UK, Ukraine. Hello from Ukraine. Thank you for coming on board. About UK culture and literature, and outside of London, offering Gotten Method couples counseling. I'm just going to go with couples counseling. So we've got couples counseling. We've got an online academy. We'll use them as basically the basis of some of the examples that I'll run today. Sports therapy, car audio and security. So we've got a good few. Thank you very much for dropping your introductions in. This massively makes this session just a little bit more interactive so that it means I can give you ideas throughout that might work for you. So one of the reasons that you're here is essentially you're trying to work out, is YouTube for you? What could I do differently? Why am I on YouTube? Why would I even use YouTube? Straight off the bat, 2 billion logged in users every month. So straight away, when we consider this, we've got to think that this is an audience of 2 billion. Even if it was just the UK and we were considering actually it's not 2 billion, it's a percentage of the population. It's millions of people watching content every day. And YouTube content doesn't always have to be absorbed on YouTube. For example, it can be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the website. You can embed it on there. So there's loads of different ways for YouTube to be watched. There's over 1 billion hours watched every day. And again, even if you got a 0.01% of that billion hours, how many hours is that of people watching your content? 0.0001%. How many hours is that people watching your content? The second largest search engine in the world, and 500 hours of video uploaded every minute. So what we're trying to get at here is basically the pure vastness of the size of YouTube. To say that actually, well, can all these people be doing it wrong? Can all these people not necessarily be getting this right? The pure size of YouTube gives you a demonstration of why it's a great platform to go on. For growing your community, for expanding your knowledge, expanding your clients' knowledge, expanding potential prospects' knowledge around the area that you're doing, and hopefully use it as a bit of a lead generation tool. So have your say on YouTube. So one of the great things about YouTube, the reason that it is so popular, is it's got freedom of expression. It's got freedom of information, freedom of opportunity, freedom to belong. And these are all things that people want to be a part of in some way. They might want to belong to a certain community. They might want to find out additional information by doing research upon research upon research, starting off at the top of the rabbit hole. It's like in the Matrix. Do you take the red pill? Do you take the blue pill? Do you want to go deeper down that rabbit hole to find more about Morpheus, to find more about Neo and Trinity? Or are you happy just to sort of find the knowledge that you're at and just stick at that level and not necessarily get involved in some of those communities? But the great thing is you have the full option on YouTube for the basics for maybe HTML, the basics for sports physio, the basics for people to be able to get education. But you can also take this deeper and actually start to look at a bigger picture of YouTube. How can we build our community? How can we use this tool to help develop our website and help develop our offering on our website? So the most important, not the most, but I'm going to say it is fairly important, is to find your niche. So what is your channel going to be about? So if you're just starting up a business, maybe you don't know what you're going to do yet. Start to think, write the words, what is your channel going to be about? You've got to do something that you're passionate about. For example, we've got a physio on board. You don't just do physio because one day you woke up and decided, I'm going to help people heal. I'm going to help people preventative injuries. I'm going to help people with injuries. I'm going to build the leg strength up, the muscle strength up, any strength up that a physio can do. So straight away, you've got to know what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be helping people get stronger themselves? Are you going to give them aid videos to help people who are maybe on your program or people that you're actually working with? So decide on what the content that you're actually going to do. Because once you know what your channel's about, what you are creating content, why are you creating content? Who is your audience? All of these things need to be considered. So do write down what is your channel about, why are you creating content, and who is your audience? And the biggest thing behind all of this is you need to consider is what are your passions? Please don't do something because one of your mates does it and it's going successfully. If you don't enjoy it, how are you going to maintain this 1 video a week, 5 videos a month, 10 videos a month? Because by the time you get to that point, because you think it's going to be something successful, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So write down these 3 questions and we'll try and go through these as we do. So to define what a passion actually is, it's a strong, extravagant fondness or enthusiasm or desire for anything. So some people literally look at someone like KSI. He originally jumped on YouTube and literally was just talking about anything. Just a boy in his bedroom, saying how he's unique, saying about silly things that he's doing, pranks and so on. But he enjoyed the side of creating content. He enjoyed the imaginative concept of building content. Then when you start thinking outside of just a generic YouTuber and you start to think of physios, you start to think of chiropractors, it's people that have a passion for helping people and find ways of helping other people. And if you've not got that passion in the first place, like I said a second ago, you will not maintain this. So what is it you want to create a channel for? Who for? And why? If it's something you genuinely want to share with the world, then this is the place to do it. But make sure this is a strong, extravagant fondness, not just a bit of a preference because I think it'll make me some money. So identifying your goal could help you do this. So for example, here we've got Mama Sherry. I want to inspire people to love and cook soul food. So this means she wants people to see her passion. If she's doing a video and literally going, stick some jerk chicken on a fire, grill it, maybe make some jerk sauce, stick it on some beans, it's going to be good. The definition of what she's trying to get people to achieve is inspire people to love and cook soul food. So she should be energetic. She should be big. Her videos should represent her personality, represent her brand, represent the goal that she is trying to achieve. So I'd love to see personality in there. I'd love to see her preference to what type of herbs to use, what type of cooking to do, how to cook. Do you do it on a grill? Do you do it in an oven? What's the best results? Do a series around smoking, a series around what type of chicken to use, why to use organic chicken or non-organic chicken, which bit of the breast to use, which bit of the leg, the thigh. I love food, because you hopefully tell my example here of passion of food is represented. Again, we've got Super Sorrel. I want to create a community of adult nostalgic toy collectors. And he's got to have the toys to deliver this community. You can't just start at nothing. I imagine to demonstrate his expertise, you need to have some of this. I want to share my passion for cleaning cars, detailing world. Again, I have no preference for cleaning cars. I pay someone to clean my car. But on the flip side, my cousin literally spends 3 hours and classes it as a bit of calm time to clean his car. 3 hours to me is the biggest waste of time to clean a car. But again, I could totally see someone with a passion for I think it's a Nissan something or like a sports car, actually wanting to clean it. And this is why at this stage, you need to define what your goal is going to be. So write down, identify your goal. Write down what it is you want people to take away from this channel. So the next thing we're going to have a look at is the activity. Find out your what and your why. So define your audience is going to be the first stage of this. So it's great that you've thought of content, but there's a saying, if you watch the writing for social media and strategy for social media, if you watch both of these, they'll go a little bit more into sort of like audiences and personas. So do please watch these two. So that's writing for social media and strategy for social media. Again, Benedict, if you could add those into the comments, that would be amazing. But the reason we say this is if you write content for everyone, you create content for everyone, you're not creating content for anyone. So you want to consider who is your audience when we're doing this. So for example, this could be an example of a persona. So a persona is a representation of your ideal subscriber. So this could be someone that you know is going to find this sort of stuff interesting. Maybe you've got friends, maybe you've got family, maybe you've got a client. And this could be an easy way of doing it. It could be that Rowan is a client of someone who's obsessed with cars or had a pride in his car. And he always comes to him asking for advice. He gets his car work done by him, all of the detailing. So straight away you go, right, okay, let's just pick Rowan. So what does Rowan do? He works 9 to 5. He's UK based. He's a car enthusiast, goes to car shows. I always see him at shows. So yep, he definitely goes to car shows. Takes pride in his car. He might take his car to the shows. And you know he can only do the weekends because he normally works 9 to 5. Frequents online forums, goes to YouTube to learn, has 2 kids, and is always short on time. So what we need to consider here is that all of these factors mean something. So if most of your personas work 9 to 5, let's look at that as time. Don't post between 9 and 5. Maybe post at lunch if you're going to work that out. You've got to be car enthusiasts. They're going to shows, so maybe always have a bit of content at least once a month about a show you've been to. Gets involved in the online forums, goes to YouTube to learn. So can we do some content here that's not just demonstrating stuff? Maybe teach people how to do certain aspects of the service or job that you do. And last of all, has 2 kids, so always short on time. So this doesn't mean that we create epic feature-length films about how to clean the car. It could be top 10 tips in 5 minutes of how to clean your car to get that detail you need for a car show. If you were someone doing this, this will be perfect. If you're a physio, maybe if you're doing like leg or you're doing arm rehabilitation, it could be top 5 tips to reduce injuries on your legs, or top 5 tips for some home physio, top 5 exercises to do to reduce the need for physio, or home remedy for physio. How could you do some basic sort of maybe muscle stretches, maybe some foam rollers to reduce the chance of needing to get injuries, or even just addition to physio. There's no reason you can't offer content that's going to help people. And this content can be used for you after the physio to go, you've done a physio on your legs because you've got an injury on your quad. If you go on the website under quads, there's a few videos there. I'd recommend this title, this title, this title, maybe number them and go 1, 4, 5, 8. Do that this week, come back next week, and you should be on the next stage of this. So straight away, it can back up your content as well. So don't just think it's giving away content for free. It's demonstrating your expertise. So the what? My passion is looking after cars. Right. So straight away, you've got a concept of a business that maybe you're doing or want to do. Why? I want to share my knowledge and teach others, because you know that other people, a little bit of knowledge can go a long way. Who? The persona Rowan, the car enthusiast who loves cars. So straight away, you've got a nice little story going on now that you can spend a little bit of time enveloping. You can spend a little bit of time to actually go, right, this is the route I'm going to go down. Let's go back to his persona. Let's focus on some ideas. Let's plan some content around car shows, around quick content videos, around maybe getting involved in some of the forums, maybe even asking for people's opinion of content that they want on the forums. So you start to get an actual feedback from your potential clients. So we're going to have a quick pause for some questions. Enhanced car and audio and security limited. We upgrade radios, trackers, immobilizers, and dash cams. Cool. So for example, an example here when we're saying about this, like, why do people need trackers? So I always see videos on like YouTube and TikTok and Facebook about someone's car getting stolen and literally going, I couldn't see them doing it. I didn't know they'd done it. I thought my car had the security built into it to do it. So how did my car get stolen? And it could just be, you literally go, this is an example of someone's car being stolen in 16 seconds. Fast forward it. Don't watch for 16 seconds. And before you even started, fed up of getting your car stolen, or fed up of people getting cars stolen, don't want to be the next victim. One of our immobilizers, 20 minutes, your car can't be stolen using the keys or using the technology that they're using now in this video. And some form of variation of what I'm saying. But the reason for this is your biggest point is immobilizers. You could do a video on that. Trackers, you could do a video on that. Upgrading your radios, how to have a decent radio, which has got Google Maps built into it, versus a 5-year-old radio that you have to upgrade all the time for £200 fitted or whatever it is. But straight away, what you're doing, you're trying to think of the problem people have and how have you got a solution. But you want to introduce that answer to the question as rapid as possible. So some great examples of how and what you do, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit of an idea of what you could do around that. Maybe even a series around additional security features, tools that you could do around that, why you need it. And it could be that someone watches that video once, but the third time they watch a video, they're like, you know what? I'm going to get this. Creating engaging content. So here's a little activity for you. What do you think makes engaging content on YouTube? So when you watch a video on YouTube, what makes you keep your thumb still? What makes you not flick through that content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Sometimes it is purely on YouTube if you're on YouTube, but what makes you stick around? Think about when you're watching content, there's something that makes you stay engaged. When someone says, follow me now, follow, like, write a comment, why do you write a comment? Because they're openly asking any questions. I will answer every single question. So people go, if you're going to answer every single question, I'm going to ask him a question. Why did you get involved today in this content? Because you want to learn. You want to envelop your knowledge. So straight away, what is it you think that makes engaging content on YouTube? I know for me, when I'm watching YouTube, it has to be quick. It has to be snappy. If they've not got my attention in 7 seconds, unfortunately, a bit like a goldfish, you're not keeping my attention. In the first 7 seconds, you should put across what the video is going to be about and a little bit of personality around you and your business, and then drop straight into that content. So we've got useful content. We've got relevance. Yep. So if you're on your channel watching stuff about cars being fixed, about physios, about education, could it be you do quick snip videos of 5 things to learn about English? Or here's access to one of our example courses that we run around X education to give you a little bit of a taster. Drop in the introduction, drop in why people are doing it. It might be long content, but the first bit has to drag them in the first place to watch that content. So some great engagement so far, people. Short and sharp for me. Yep, exactly. I totally agree with that. And enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is possibly one of the biggest things that keeps people engaged. Again, a monotone voice of you going, cars can be stolen, because the technology out now is so much more advanced than it was 5 years ago, I think. No commitment, no guarantee, no using your experience, no enthusiasm behind it. But before you do any of this, we need to consider, right, if this is the case, let's research and plan. Let's have your equipment ready for action. If you don't have it, what can you get away with? Creating your content, what we're going to do once we've got the content, and organizing and editing your content. So before we even get going, we need to know what keywords are we going to use. So if we all have a look, type in or make a note about in Google, or type in Google Trends, go to an address bar, type in trends.google.com, or just type in Google Trends in Google, whichever one works for you. And what's great about this is you can start to research certain words. So a really good example of this, I remember researching myself, was Wellingtons. So if you wanted to sell welly boots, Wellingtons, welly bobs, rain boots, as they call them in America as well, there's loads of different variations. But if you were selling them in the UK, I think Wellingtons and Wellington boots were the most popular. When in America, welly boots, welly bobs, and rain boots exist. I have never heard someone describe a Wellington boot as a rain boot. I've never really heard someone call it a welly bob. In England, if you were selling Wellingtons, just Wellingtons on your website, it would make no sense really to include the word welly bob in your title, in your description, in your images, and so on. But in America, in some states as well, I remember looking at, the word welly bob or Wellington or welly boot and rain boot was more popular than the word Wellington boots and Wellingtons. So you've got to consider your market. You have to consider who you're making this for. So your first thing might be to go to Google Trends, type in a few keywords for your business. So for example, car trackers, follow cars, how to track my car, immobilizers for car immobilizers. And you might think, well, that's the same word, Joe. But the thing is, depending which way around you do it, there may be more popular terms that are using. There may be more popular words that people are using. So straight away, you need to consider that every word has data. So to start off, go on Google Trends, start off here. Once you go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole, on the screen, you can see something called, is it on the next one possibly? No. There's another one called Google Keyword Planner. I would say once you've gone to Google Trends and you've started to find some of your keywords around this, you can go to Google Keyword Planner. So you have to go to Google Ads. And then once you go into that, please also Google how to sign up to Google Ads without putting a debit or credit card in. It's a little small-winded process, but once you're in, there's a tool called Keyword Planner. You can type in some keywords and then it will throw at you other suggested keywords with metrics around these keywords. And this will now start to give you a bigger picture of other words that you could include. And the reason I say this is because you can have gut instinct and you can be correct or incorrect. But if you don't prove you are correct or incorrect, what are you doing? You are literally just throwing caution into the wind. You are literally just trying to do something that isn't going to work or could work. But if you prove that it can work, you prove what you're thinking with data, it means then you can go, actually, it will work. And here's the data to prove it. When the problem can be the other way around, when you don't prove it, you don't know, you can be wrong. By all means, use your gut instinct and be right with data. That's what I want you to be. But just consider these, because what you can do now is get inspiration from this. Even just typing in Wellington boots and leaving that, it will suggest other words. It will suggest other blog content that you could type in. Wellington boots best for casual walking. Wellington boots for long distance walking. Wellington boots for Icelandic conditions. Wellington boots for heavy rain, light rain. Because you've got fashion boots like Jules, the brand, versus maybe something like Hunter. Then you've got to go up a level. Then you're starting to go to Barber. Above that, there's like other brands. So straight away, depending what you're trying to do, this research can take you down this path. And by researching this in the first place, reading blogs, writing content, reading content, you'll then be able to pick up trends and get current events and current news about this to give you even more knowledge. But also research your competitors, because they would have done this in the first place, which can let you skip ahead much quicker than when they started potentially with nothing and they didn't have competitors. So the right type of content for you, there is no correct content. Having a combination of these bits of content, to me, is personally how I would recommend having a look at this. So one-off content, get your message across with a quick, impactful hit. This could just be, for example, with the immobilizers. Here today in sale in Manchester, fitting an immobilizer after next door's car got stolen last night, and it was exactly the same car. Their security camera showed 16 seconds from turning up with some weird contraption to the car being stolen. So we've come here to fit it, only £70 and £100 a fit, but now their car won't be stolen. Can you afford not to? Obviously, a little bit more time on planning on the words, a little bit more time on the script, but you get the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't have to be overly done content. You don't need a cameraman with a boom mic for every bit of your content and go, snap, let's do that again. Snap, let's do it again. It could even just be a head cam. This is how we fitted it, speed it all up, bang, put it out there, you're talking over it. Regular short form content. So it could be that you say twice a week, we're going to do irregular content on a Monday and on a Thursday. Why on a Monday and a Thursday? Because you've looked at your metrics on the channel after a few weeks or a few months, and you've decided to do it on those days because that is your most popular days for people watching the content. Or you've gone to analytics on your website and you find that that's the most popular time people go on your website. Use this knowledge of data to expand your knowledge of your own area of expertise and use this to optimize this information. And then you can plan and deliver content at a time that is the most popular for your viewers, therefore getting a higher impact. Long form content, so keep your viewers engaged for longer. Podcast interviews, live streams, plan this content so that people find it engaging. What is the problem? What are you talking about? Why are you talking about it? Roundup comment. There's no correct or wrong or right way of doing this, but just keep people engaged. Don't just start waffling on. Don't go on tangents. Bring it back to the table. You want to keep people on for as long as possible. The longer that content is watched, the higher the algorithm will pick up the content. The more it's watched, the more people that watch it. If you're just instantly going, today we're going to talk about how we can stop cars from being stolen because being stolen costs people money, and that's what our business does. We're really good at stopping people from stealing cars. You're not even looking at the camera. You've got monotone voice. Think about how you're going to grab people's attention. Today, we're going to go through 3 things to reduce your car from being stolen. This is your hard-earned cash that you earn. Stopping your car from being stolen should be your number one thing. Here's 3 free tips that we'll give you right now. Not paying anything. They're like, oh. But at the same time, you're saying, subscribe to our video, follow us today, write in the comments any questions, we'll get back to you. Engagement, engagement, engagement. So all of this content is the right content. How you choose to deliver it is up to you. The series way is a really good one because you could do, we're going to do a top 10 for cars and do a little series of the top 10 security, the top 10 cleaners, the top 10 things that you could use to immobilize thieves from your car. If you can't afford one of these, here's some of the little ideas that might help you. A bollard. All these little ideas can create content that people are going to follow and engage with. And a series works for some because they want to hear what's coming next. We built a car from scratch. Follow us through our journey. Here we go. We've made the most secure car in the world. We've put all of our tech on here. Now we're going to test how people can steal it. Will it work? Each time trying a different technique. No. But people are learning why it helps you, what it helps, what it stops. All of a sudden, people are watching the next bit of content to see why. Fitting it for a BMW, fitting it for an A-Class, fitting it for a Peugeot. So people can search their own car, their own make and model. And the more you get of your clients doing that, just little short content, series content, means that when people type that in, it's a higher chance of it coming up for their make and model, therefore bringing you up as an option. Consider a release schedule. So how many videos can you release per week, realistically? Start off with once a month. Once you've done once a month, start to consider, well, that's quite easy. Twice a month. What days of the week will you release it on based on data? Will you rotate content types? Maybe you're going to do quick videos on the top 10s, then you're going to do how-tos, then you're going to do why nots, then you're going to do why us. and rotate it so people are engaged? Will you link content to specific days of the week? And then people are coming back on those days, like people watch TV series. Like when Game of Thrones was out, for example, I know I went to my friend's house every week on a, was it a Monday or Tuesday? Or even a Wednesday, whatever day of the week it was. I used to go around there, we'd have some food, and then we'd watch Game of Thrones at 9, and then we'd all have a chat till about 10:30, and I'd go home. But every week I went to watch Game of Thrones because he had it on Sky. And then you've got to consider that if people are doing that and they're coming back every week, that means they are now valuable customers. They're potentially further down the sales line. They're potentially someone that could be interested in using your brand, could be brand advocates. They could be telling their friends about you, saying, watch this video. It's really interesting how they do this. I got one for my car. Here's a link to how they did it and why they did it. Actually, my car was a video. Start showing the other friends it. Other friends buy it, all because you've chosen a day. They like the day, they like the content, and what you're doing has a problem, and you are making a solution for that problem. So consider a release schedule and stick to it. Please stick to it. Even if you defer and you maybe ideally don't go off, like you do it on a Monday, but then you do it on Tuesday. As long as you are sticking to it, generally, people will appreciate it. But please do not do it on a Monday, then not do it for 3 months. And your viewership drops off the face of the earth, and you have to spend that time again getting that up. You can schedule content. You can do video content. You can do live content. And it could be that you can schedule content in that you've pre-made, but just make sure it drops on those days so that people are getting what they're expecting. So the structure of your story, the beginning of your story, the 0 minute as it starts, what is the hook? Why are they here? Stop your car from being stolen today. Find the top 3 tips how you can do this for free. That could be one video. It could be a physio one. 5 exercises to seriously reduce your chance of knee injuries in football. Do these before every match. Go off to a football field. Get someone as a footballer doing it. If you can get someone to endorse you, if you can get a local celeb, a local footballer, or just you playing football in a football environment rather than stood in a gym and you've just said before football, but you're stood in a gym. That's not contextual. Start to think of what people are looking for. Football boots, shin pads, on a pitch, during a warm-up, doing it with a team of players. Do a free session for a local football team, get a shed load of content, and then edit that content together. All of a sudden, now you've got the engagement because people are interested. At the end, you've got the call to action. Book now for a free physio session. Book now for your free session for your local football team, and we'll do the session for free. But all of a sudden, you've got 30-odd footballers in a squad knowing that you exist as a physio, knowing that you are an example of someone that can help them if they get injured. And I know when I played football for 11-a-side, every week, someone in that 30-odd man squad got an injury. And if you said maybe 15% off for any players of this squad for the first 2 visits, but they come back once a year, and you've got 30 people that do that, how much money is that continuously evolving round because of 1 hour free training session that you've done? You've lost an hour, but you've just gained 10 massages at £40 an hour, £400 for 1 hour of your time that you could structure in 3 or 4 teams in one day. So start to think of how you can use this. The hook grabs them at the beginning, the engagement keeps them there, the call to action. Follow me, fill in the form, write in the comment your team and your name or your email address. I'll drop you an email how you can get involved in the next one and when it is. All of a sudden, 3 minutes content, bam. Getting your logo in there, getting your brand in there, getting your personality in there. All of these things is what makes a structure of a story. So it's got a beginning, middle, and an end, not just you waffling for 3 minutes. So spend time researching it, writing it down. So writing for videos, speak directly to your audience. Like literally, both metaphorically and literally. So don't be looking away, literally be looking at the camera, talking to them. But also find out what they want you to talk about. Do some market research, write some tweets with votes in it to start to see what people will be interested in. When you go into those football teams, ask them, what are your most regular injuries? Part of this free thing is, can you all fill in this Google form? And they all fill it in, but now you've got an idea of what are the most regular injuries? What is it they're interested in out of the top 5 things that you offer? Would you be interested in getting a sports massage if you were to get injured? Yes. Would you agree to me sending you an email? Yes. Boom. There's 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 people now who you can follow up later on with an email, with an offer. Write it the way that you would say it. Don't write it in nonsense terms. Don't write all complicated. According to the physiological book of legs, rule 101 is about stretching the metatarsal to the left, whatever. People do not understand that. Spend that time to start thinking, like, to stretch your legs, particularly area of the metatarsals. Remember David Beckham, when he got injured, that's what he injured. What we can do to reduce the chances of this is exercises really easy, a little video on the screen, you talking about it, edit it together, but it's in easy terms that understand for anyone. Read your script out loud beforehand, practice it. It might be that you might have to record the video a few times, but even voiceover, you could just do it, break, do the next one, break, edit it together. It streams all the way through, but plan this. So what you're going to talk about, speak to your audience, practice that sort of informal professionalism. Write down the way you're going to say it, read your script out loud to practice, and then get going. And the only way to do this is just to try, is to literally go, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to just try and do this, because actually, without trying, you'll never succeed. Without trying, you'll never fail. So literally, get your cameras out, get your phones out, and get going. Develop your storyboard shot. So if you're going to do some of the long content, maybe not so one-to-one with people, or even if you're going to do some short content, you have you on the screen like this with a white screen behind you, lights in front, a nice mic, a nice camera, and you're talking about it. And then maybe you're going to have a little thing come up here talking about a football boot. Like I've got the screen here, small screen, big screen. We achieve this using something called StreamYard. Also have a look into that. And it could be you literally turn your head. So if you look this way, I know that I'm facing away from it. So now remember, I'm going to turn this way and talk about it. As you can see here, we can see as the foot bends, we need to stretch this muscle group. There's nothing there, but when you edit it together, you've planned the shot, which means you need to turn your head this way, not this way. You need to talk about this and move your arms around here so people can see what you're talking about. A bit like the weatherman. It's this sort of context. And then you can go, right, I'm going to put in a slide here. I'm going to talk about this here. I'm going to need a prop. What prop do I need? Right, okay, we're going to talk about a skull. Okay, brilliant. So here's a skull. As you can see, the eye socket, the nose, the mouth, the cranium at the back. All of a sudden, all of these things are just things that you say, right, we're going to need this. So when I'm recording it, it's in front of me. I've literally just grabbed some aftershave because I was just thinking of something to say. But it could be you have that on the table and you have a line called shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, and you have all the props there. So today I'm talking about a foot. Tomorrow I'm talking about the cranium, how we can reduce stress by doing some simple massages. The day after, I'm talking about the leg, the arm bone, the metatarsals. But what you're doing is planning it here so that when you're doing it, you've got it all lined up, and then you can get as much of it done in a short time frame as possible. Do you need people to make it professional and literally go and pass it to you, and you just talk about it and pass it back out of the camera? All of these little things mean that if you know you need 2 people, you need 3 people, you can then plan this. And maybe you've not got a team of 2 or 3 people, but you know other people that might do some similar content to you or just do content. Why don't you all work for one day and have 3-hour slots where you all help each other out? And all of a sudden, you've got the greater of all of you. The sum is greater than the sum of its parts idea. And you can help each other out. You're all doing different content, but you're learning from each other. So develop your story shot by shot means that when you're doing it, you know what you're talking about. You know how you're prepping it. You know what each frame is going to have. And then you can go, right, I've got that foot up now. Talk about it. Edit it together. It all streams. It all makes it interesting. And most importantly, what we're talking about here, it's keeping that engagement. You've made it. You know what you're going to talk about. You've done your script, but now you've brought all of this together. So start with what you have. So, for example, I'm quite lucky. At the moment, I've got a light that's my missus' makeup mirror. I also have a ring light that I have an option to use with different colored and different types of lights. I've got my laptop. I've got a microphone, which is like a Blue Yeti mic. I don't always use it, but I also have a clicker, which is a Logitech clicker, which can move around. It's got a laser on it. It's got it's like a Wii remote where you can tilt it to look around the screen. I don't always use it, but the option is there. I've got a backdrop here, which is like a white backdrop with a large drop. Go on Amazon. You can get them for like anywhere between 30 to 100 quid. If you've got a white wall, equally as good. But straight away, work with what you've got. You haven't got a light, don't worry. Try and do it in front of the window between the hours of 10, and 1 when you've got natural light. So just start to think, what do you have? Write a list of stuff down. If you haven't got a microphone, could you record it on your phone and literally have like a little mic up your top with a little microphone there so you can record it and overlay that afterwards? If you've not got overly professional content, if you've not got overly professional mics, could you buy cheap ones and then upgrade as you go along? You can also Google stuff like NVIDIA have just released like a microphone addition to their free option, where literally you can get a little download and it emphasizes and makes your voice sound better at no cost. So straight away, what do you have? Get yourself a little stand. Can you lean it on top of something? Can you balance it? Can you buy a little clamp that goes around your camera and you use it as a little phone? Step it up a level. Could you get a DJI gimbal so that when you walk, it keeps it steady, but you've got a phone that records in 4K? You just stepped up your content to that next level. So start with what you have. Use your laptop, use your phones. Start to build this knowledge. The sound's not great. Okay. Get someone else's phone, record the sound on that, have it in your top pocket, get a Bluetooth lapel, record the sound with that, or do it separately or talk over it. Entirely up to you. Here's little enhancements you can have. So for example, I see people at the gym, my local gym, there's a few, I'm assuming, sort of Instagrammers or local sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Local sort of gym buffs, I'm going to say for now, who basically make content on YouTube and for Instagram. They've got a little stand. I've seen one of them with a little mic on the lapel sometimes when she talks. You've got editing software. You could go deep down the rabbit hole and get Premiere Pro. You can get advanced video editing software that's out there. But you can also go on to Canva. They've got video editing software. Type in free video editing software. Type in top 10 free and paid video editing software. Find where you fall in. If it's free, use it. If you can pay for it, but you get extra features that saves you time, you've got to think sometimes, is it worth that £100 one-off cost to get something that will do it quicker for you, with you, rather than just using the free? But sometimes free is absolutely fine. And this is what you need to consider. So can you get yourself a faster laptop? Will it make your editing quicker? Research that. One of the reasons people buy Macs is because often the speed at which it compiles a video is greater than on Windows. And it's these considerations that you might want to consider. But for now, there's a phone with a microphone on it. Now you can record videos with your hand, move on to a two-handed structure. So you can put your phone in it and it steadies the camera, move on to a gimbal. Could you use a drone? Could you get a little over-the-shoulder camera for somebody else? Could you start making a bit of money? Start to consider where your entry point is. But more importantly, just enhance. You don't need to be professional. You don't need to have a boom mic and a big stand that zooms in and out. Think what you've got, what you can do. Even just use the sun when it's out. And these sorts of things will then start to give you optimum opportunities to enhance your video content further. Consider what can be seen. So top tips, like if you've got something like this, outside of this is my bedroom. No one can see it. So therefore, you can start to consider, well, these are things I don't have to think about. Could I actually then go, right, do I need a drop down? Do I need extra hardware that can sort this out? All of a sudden, it's just using these tools to your advantage. Choose your space carefully. If you're going to do content like this, don't get a drop down. Put your desk in front of a white wall. If you've got a bit of money and it's got a drop down screen, could you get a white one? Could you get a black one? Could you get a green screen? All of a sudden, you can start to develop your content a little bit. All of a sudden, you're doing something a bit different. You've taken it up that level. Think about movements. So think about how could you do this content in different locations. Think about how you could do this content by keeping it engaging. Think about how quickly you're moving. Think about how much involvement you need to be on this. Could you do it on the walk? Could you do something a bit different? Today, we're going to do an actual run. Today, we're going to do some exercises about running and literally have a head cam on, showing people how to stretch, talking about it with a video in the background, because you've chosen a nice little green screen to bring all this together. So straight away, there's no right or wrong answers here. It's just considering what it is best for you. So 5 steps to basic editing. And I'd recommend doing it in this sort of order. So you've taken all of your videos. Do that in one step. When I've done this before now for some online educational content for health and well-being, we literally had an entire day, once every 2 weeks, from 9 till 5, where we had a list of videos that we wanted to record. with lessons, with ideas, with scripts that we wanted to do. At first, we literally had a video camera and we had to remember the content. And sometimes it was good. Other times you got to the last word and messed up. Then they were like, we've done all right here, but could we get an auto cue? And they bought a cheap auto cue, which was linked to a phone and tilted and put the camera right above it. And it then meant that they could look at the phone while looking at the camera and read what's on the cue. All of a sudden, this now meant we could do more content quicker because of one little bit of a cost. But that then improved it. So again, how can you do these things? These are little tips. Once you've got your content, put it onto the computer. It's going to be nonsense. It's going to have video 1, video 2, video 3. If you can even make notes as you're going along to say video 1 is going to be this, video 2 is going to be this. Then when you take it off the camera and you import it onto your computer, you can then rename all of these files. So you've got a vague idea what it is you're doing rather than having to play every single file for 20 minutes just to get the right order, to get the right content. Once you've imported it and organized the footage, now add video effects and sound effects. So for example, do you need to calm some volume down? When you're watching the video, someone sneezed or there's a big gush of wind. Could you reduce the volume of bits that you don't need? Is it too bright? Could we take out certain sections to go, that's not needed, that's not needed. Let's get that piece together. Put an S or a E for edited. So you've got the same bit of content edited, now exported somewhere else. Check your sound. Is the voice good enough? Is it clear enough? No, it's not. Still got a great video. We're still going to use this content. I'm just going to talk over it. And I'm going to cut me out at the side when someone's stretching. Next time, we need to get a cheeky little Bluetooth lapel. Boom. Sound is now on point. This bit is now quicker. We've got consistent good videos and audio. Let's bring it together. Have a look at color correction. So is it too bright? Could we add a little bit of a hue to it? Could we add a little bit of blue, red, green? Is there something that we can do? Often the software will massively help you with this. And this just means then you've got a nicer bit of content that's maybe a bit softer. Maybe it was done in bright lights and you can just dim it down a little bit. Once you've finished, export and upload your video. So think about an intro, maybe a logo, something that's spinning. Have a look at something like Fiverr. Go in online, finding a freelancer to put your video on rotate and just introduce the video with a title. And it literally is there for 3/4 of a second. And then it's you, bam. Hi, welcome to my channel today. We're talking about foot injuries and how you can reduce them. Or whatever the intro is going to be, but bam, straight in there in the first 3 seconds. Why are you watching this video? So start to think about this. Once you've exported and uploaded your video, you've now got it online. So we've not got any questions for this second bit, or third bit, should I say. I'm just checking we've got no more from here. Nope. So do feel free to ask any questions here. And we'll try and answer them. And remember, at the end as well, we can ask some questions. So get discovered and track your success. So once you've uploaded content to YouTube, you need to consider, how is this going to be searched? How are people going to look at this content and how are they going to find it in the first place? So at the beginning, we talked about keywords. At the beginning, we talked about researching what people are looking for. So in the title for this, for example, it could be physio post-workout physio recommendations for gaining more strength without injuries. But all of a sudden, you've used the word strength workout, you've used the word physio, you've used the word injuries. So when you're doing this research around like football injuries, top 5 things to reduce injuries from 11-a-side. Top 5 tips to reduce 5-a-side injuries. Top 5 tips for keepers. Top 5 tips for strikers. All of a sudden, each person's got a different niche. But what we need to consider is, what are the keywords that we're going to use? Are these keywords then searchable? Can we add tags? And how can we promote them? So again, go online, search things like keywords. Look around popular keywords. Literally go to YouTube and type in sports injuries and stop typing. See what comes up as recommended content. Go to Google, repeat the same process. Twitter, TikTok. This is what's sort of known as sort of dirty keyword research. It's basically not top level, very advanced keyword research, but it shows you the different rabbit holes that you could go down. So go to these, type in the words, see what comes up. Once you've done that, take it that step further. have a look at stuff like Google Trends and Keyword Planner. And this will now help you find what your audience is searching for by taking you deeper down this rabbit hole. The autocomplete on YouTube is the simplest, easiest step of doing this. But then we can start to create titles that people are looking for. Sports recovery from cruciate ligament operation. People will type that. I type that. I have 4 friends who play five-a-side with me who unfortunately have also typed that. Because these are things that people are genuinely looking for. And this little bit of research can take you a long way. So when we're saying write searchable things, for example, mini lemon meringue pies, easy dessert recipe. She didn't have to write easy dessert recipe on here, but what she's thinking is this is what people type into Google. I've got to the point when it was like 6:30 at night. I do fancy a dessert, and I've literally typed in YouTube, easy dessert recipes, easy lemon dessert recipes, easy chocolate dessert recipes. But if I've got friends coming round and I've planned this for weeks, like I have Christmas at my house every year, we rotate, not every year, friends' houses, we rotate every year. I know that is coming months in advance. I might do chocolate dessert recipes and not say complex or easy, but some of them might take an hour to do. I don't mind because I've prepped it. But that little bit extra there, easy dessert recipes, is a key word. She's also put mini lemon meringue pies in the title. She's then repeated that into the actual content. So when you're thinking of keywords, it's mentioned in the title, it's mentioned in the description. You're keeping this consistent. You're making it searchable. You're reinforcing these keywords with labels, with your brand in there. Again, you can see here, 10 steps, how to. Then underneath, 10 basic steps. It's following that up. We've also got here, Mama teaches you, because it's her brand. If you remember at the beginning, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was Mama something. And she's reinforcing this in her content to make sure that these keywords are being mentioned at the opportune moments, so that when people read this, it's not just easy dessert recipes, it's easy dessert recipes for Mama Cherry. But then she said, it's on the Mama Cherry channel, easy dessert recipes, Mama teaches you. All of a sudden, you've got the word Mama, you've got the channel called Mama. All of a sudden, next time someone's online, they're like, what was that person that made that dessert last time? It was a bit weird, it was a bit niche. It wasn't like something I've ever thought of before. Mama, mummy, mum. Let me just type in Mama lemon cheese. Boom, there it is. All of a sudden, this is how brand stays in your head. The labels of the brand on the series, keep your description short and visible, so then people can absorb it and remember that and see it maybe in the history and go, that's the video. Save it, and it's not a ridiculously long title. Spend that time just spending that extra little bit of thought process here. Use tags. So like hashtags, I like to see hashtags really as if you were trying to get to your friends' houses and people's houses, you need postcodes to find them. This is a quick way of finding someone's house. Not necessarily perfectly accurate, it's the exact content that you want, but quick ways of finding content that interests you. So for example, hashtag haul, hashtag toy haul, hashtag shopping haul. So I imagine here we've got the Super Sorel, who is basically trying to get people to see that he's an expert in this field, get nostalgia people to have a look, and maybe he's gone to a car boot sale and he's bought a box of magazines, of comics, of unopened toy boxes that he's just gone, right, I'll give you $70 for all them. And they've gone, yeah. So now he's going through it, showing you how old these are, how much they're worth, why are they so important. This is the first time that Silver Surfer, you ever see him. This is a rare comic book, but compared to book number 1 of the first series, it's not worth as much as that. But we've got a video on that later in the month, dropping that little bit of knowledge in there. But these tags are ways of people finding you. These are basically their synonyms for words. These are things that people can find. Also consider information that's not communicated in your title. So for example, maybe if it's about Comic-Con, maybe if it's about Earthworm Jim, maybe if it's about Superman, you can put so much in your title. If there's some additional bits in there, maybe like it's to do with, what's it called? Like injuries. It could be advanced yoga. You could say advanced yoga for reducing football injuries. But then the bit at the bottom in the tags, it could be football injuries. It could be striker injuries. It could be sprinting injuries. Because this same bit of knowledge is accessible for different sports, but it could just be you're using football as the example. And in the video, you might mention some other sports, but you're using the tag so that other people can still find this opportunity to learn from this video. So think about stuff that might not be in the title, maybe even back up the stuff that's in the title. But this gives you an opportunity to be found when people don't know your brand exists in the first place. So building your community. Here you've got an opportunity to communicate with your community. When you're doing your videos, please make sure they say subscribe, follow us on Facebook, go to Twitter. And you might think, well, how do I get people to go to these different social media platforms? Joe Wicks is an amazing example of this. So he started off on Instagram, I think it was. And basically he did something called 15-minute meals with his book. But he also had 15-second videos. And the reason was is because the videos on Instagram at that point were 15 seconds long. Or was it Twitter? No, I think it was Instagram. And then basically, when he got further on, he started to go to other platforms. He started to say, I've done a special video today that's on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter now. Links in the comments, links in the bio to Twitter. Follow me there and watch this video. See you in a minute. All of a sudden, people go, let me see this unique content. Follow him on Twitter. And then he brought his following to different platforms. But most importantly, you're engaging with these people. You're engaging with people actually trying to find out more information, whether it be on your other social medias or other channels. Here you can see in the bio, she's put YouTube, mama. You could also put your link bio, your link tree. You could also put your Instagram in here, dedicating what it is she's trying to do. Food for your soul, recipes, videos, tips, and hacks, all seasoned with love. Underneath, it's got a YouTube channel. It's got a website. When you go into her About Me, you're showing all these different angles it could be. On your Insta, on your little stories, you've got examples here of the different things that you could do. Vegan recipes, shop, cooking. She's got a shop. She's trying to sell things on the side as well. It could be her ingredients. But people want to buy them because the videos demonstrate how good their ingredients are. So again, it's just spending this extra little bit of time to tick all of these boxes. Use this as a bit of an example. When you go onto your channel, does it have Facebook? When you go into your Facebook, does it have your website? Does it have the message option? Does it have an email address? Does it tell you what you are? Does it have your YouTube channel? Does it have your Twitter feed, your Instagram feed? Do you tick all of these boxes? At the top, a call to action, shop now. If you're selling something, not send me a message. You're trying to get people to be lead generation to your website, to sell, to advertise, to develop your brand. Consider this at every stage. This is a really good example on Facebook and on Instagram. Understand your users. So now go to the analytics. If you're posting videos here, say twice a week, I think they say, yeah, 2 videos on these dates, and then you're doing a YouTube video and you're doing another one, you can see the spikes, the peaks and the troughs that are going on. But as you're doing it, you're getting more and more and more and more followers. And it demonstrates how well you've done over these timeframes. But you might then go back over the videos and go, what could I do differently? This could easily, if there's a bit of a spike, a peak and a trough, but then these peaks and the troughs are keeping the troughs. And now it could mean that, for example, on these ones, they're saying watch the videos, people are watching them, but it might be in the second lot, like and follow today, and we'll do extra videos if we get 1,000 likes, if we get 1,000 followers. The more people that follow, the more time I've got to create this content. Like and follow today. Subscribe today. Little animations come up at the bottom, but you're trying to get people to stay involved in this circle of your influence. So measure your success on YouTube. I know that if my content is reaching users, it's impressions people are watching. After viewers are seeing and hearing this content, you then have to consider they're going to click through. How many people are clicking through to the content? If it's not enough, can we add more prompts to do this? And are they interested in my content? If they're clicking off in the first 10 seconds, they're not interested in your content. So hopefully this has given you a solid idea of how you can do this. How effective are self-posted videos versus paid advertising on YouTube? I would say there's questions around this is quite big. I'm not got time to go deeply into it, but sometimes when you first start off, get your head around how to do everything. Once you've got your head around how to do everything, you started to make good content, maybe a few months in, once you've got a grasp of how to do this, doing advertisement can be the difference between you getting organic growth and getting 100 people, 200 people a week. But if you spent a small amount on ads, the same on Facebook, you could grow that community quicker for less time, which is worth money. So you could spend 20 quid on ads, get 1,000 followers, but that same thing would have taken you 4 weeks to get there. So it's how much you've got. I would dip your toe in the pool first, see how much you're spending and see the return, and then learn from that. So find your niche, what, why, and who. create engaging videos, research, create with confidence. Get discovered, track that, use your keywords to do it, and don't be afraid to try new content and research around it. Go to g.co/UK mentoring to try and get some mentorings. Thank you so much today for watching the content. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you everyone that asked questions, wrote comments, got engaged, said hi to Benedict, said hi to me. Thank you everyone that's watched today. We'll hopefully see you again at the Google Digital Garage. Thank you so much for turning up. Benedict, thank you so much for getting involved and helping it flow. Have a good evening all, and we'll see you again at the Google Digital Garage.